Good evening, guys and girls. This is Wade's from NBA TopShot, our YouTube channel, and also your favorite moderator for the NBA TopShot game. Not one of them, maybe one of them. All right, so I've had a couple of messages asking when's the next video, so I didn't realize there was so many of you. I think like 19 viewers in total, so I figured I might as well. I've got nothing else to do. It's a Sunday night, 10:30 p.m. So it's an early one for me, which is great. I haven't been feeling too well over the last couple of days, so that's why I probably sound half asleep. But onwards and upwards, we've got to get through this. So we'll talk a little bit about the broader market, i.e. being the crypto, as we always do. So Bitcoin is down substantially, 45,000. Down 20% over the last 7 days. Ethereum's down to 1360, down 30% over the last 7 days. That's not too bad in terms of, if you're holding quite a bit of moments or dapper or whatever you want to call it. So that's a natural hedge against obviously these guys you see in front of you. So the more they drop, the more we'll have in Bitcoin and Ethereum when we eventually can cash out. So I've had a withdrawal now running probably for a good 4 days, just for the maximum. For me, it's a maximum of 2,500. I haven't really cashed out much at all through the conventional method, through Dapper. I did one a while back, and that was maybe 30, whatever it was. It was probably less than $100. So I believe I've heard that once you cash out a couple of times, that level might even get lifted. I'm not too sure. I'll report back, as I work through my own stuff and see how it goes. But 2,500 is the limit for me now, and it's been probably about 4 days. I've tried that before, and I've always sort of found a deal or something that I've just cancelled withdrawal. So if you cancel it, the money will be back in your account within like maybe 15-20 seconds. So so in terms of the TopShot sales for the last 24 hours, we're tracking about 12 million, which is pretty good, because we were down a little bit. There was that whole hype when Josh Hart came around and all the NBA players came in. So sort of died off a little bit, and it's picking up slowly. So this is Saturday in America. So we've still got the weekend to finish off. 12 million. If we can hold over 10 million every day, that's a pretty good volume to me. So that's over the 24 hours. Doesn't look like there's been any sales of NBA TopShots that made it to the top 15 in terms of the collectible space. Over the last 7 days, NBA TopShot has come in at 132 million, which is just phenomenal. And it looks like there's only one sale, being the LeBron James Cosmic number 29. That sold for $208,000. And I've heard that that's a group buy. That's more of like a group investment. So congratulations to them. That's a good, in my opinion, that's a good buy. Okay. So 30 days, might just skip on that and go straight to all time. So since I've been tracking this on CryptoSlam, TopShot has come in at 260 million, rounded up, and it doesn't look like there's any TopShots that have come in on the top 17 collectible space. The most cheapest one is $230,000, and I do believe that was the 208. Might be our top official sale anyway. I've just clicked on to see what the others were, so it's loading up. It's taken a while. While it's loading up, actually, I want to talk about, so the bit of a sort of strategic talk guidance I'll give you guys shortly is all to do with seeing what's coming out in terms of the new base set players for season 2, and picking out some of the heavy hitters like LeBron, KD, Anthony Edwards, and so forth. And the reason you do that is because it's liquid. What I did when this show literally started, which is about 10 minutes ago, I I listed this guy. So LeBron James season 2 dunk. That's the one that's been minted to 7,500. So it's a mint. Sorry, I've just got a bit of a sore throat, so every time I take a breath, it just makes me want to cough as well. So it's a bit difficult. So the mint was 3025. So I just wanted to see if we could sell it. I listed it for 2,400. So it's a reasonable mint for that price. I wanted to see. I've been buying a bit of Gordon Hayward. I can't get away from that. And John Wall. So that's what I've been putting my money into, and it's no secret. I said from the beginning, this is where I really fucked up on, because I had the strategy 100% spot on for season 2, and I just didn't do it. Just didn't act on it. So that is no different. So we're going to backpedal on this Crypto Slam just to get back to the main page, just to see all the sales flowing live. I love seeing this. It's hard to keep a track of it because it's so quick. So my strategy was, and it's on video, you guys remember it. So John Wall, Gordon Hayward, LeBron James, the rookies, namely LaMelo Ball. So LaMelo Ball was up to $200, just buy as much as you can. LeBron James was up to $150, $200 as well, buy as much as you can. John Wall, the target was $100. That was the target. So buy anything. We're talking when he was like $4 or $5. And Gordon Hayward was, probably, I feel comfortable more like around the $40, $50 mark in terms of the top price target. And he was again, really low, $4 or $5, whatever it was. So the reason I'm targeting those is for obvious reasons. It's the liquidity, and there's also KD in there as well, but I don't think I came out with any sort of estimates or targets. But for those ones I mentioned, that's what I said quite early on. And the reason, obviously, the big one for me is LaMelo Ball. I think he's a great talent. You guys heard it, so I'm not going to repeat it again. So since then, those prices have come to fruition and then some. So I sold most of my LaMelo Balls in the sort of $1,000, $1,500 mark, and I think I got one left, which is pretty special mint. It's 2888, so it's his jersey number and then 888. So I think it's listed probably for like $7,000 or something. So now where I fucked up on was when I sort of put this strategy together. The premise being is really no different to anything else that I've talked about. It's if you believe in the game, the platform, the team, the crowds will come, and then your 7,500 mint in season 2 will be very rare in years to come, or months, whatever. It doesn't have to be years, literally months. That worked out well for season 1 because the dollar moments that we were buying are now, the bottom of the barrel stuff is $110. So same thing applies. The strategy doesn't change. It's actually even better now because the turnaround on these moments in terms of price appreciation is quite quick. Now, having said that, is also dependent on more and more users coming on. So, go away. Which I believe will happen. So, the reason for that being is that signups have been turned on and off intermittently to help the platform stability. So as those get turned back on, more people will be allowed in. You've seen the hype on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. Everyone absolutely loves NBA TopShot. You've got other leagues falling over themselves trying to get into bed with Dapper, like hockey, and you've seen some headlines in quite official papers and networks about NHL wanting to get in and some other sports. So again, it's that, look for that social proof. What are other people talking about? If you've got baseball players, NFL players falling over themselves to get into NBA TopShot in terms of the actual game itself and be verified, which is what I think that's what Katie said on that this morning when she was on the club or whatever it was that we watched while we were lined up. So you got people falling over themselves like baseball players. It speaks volumes anyway. Let's look at some videos while we ramble. So what's this Giannis one? Yeah, pretty average. So the strategy was those guys that I mentioned. The reasoning for that was, even if you get it wrong, you know, you've got some heavy hitters in those 4 or 5 picks. The volume of new players, new entrants into the space will carry you up regardless. Okay, so this will probably take some time to play out. So what I mean by that is, if we go to LeBron's moment here, and you could see, so ignore that. So that moment came out in 30th of June? And traded, you know, around, oh look, it's hard to tell, but 400, 3, whatever it was, quite early on. What did I say, June? January 30th, I meant. And you can see we've been now through, 2 weeks almost? Around there. Yep, 2 weeks. And there's been no real significant price action. Now, the reason for this, I'd say primarily is the volume of the listings and just, you know, the amount of players around. And obviously, as those factors change, the price goes up. So you can see here, late sort of February, it really started to come up nicely, and that blue line, I think it's like one of those moving averages. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing on that, or maybe it's like a median or something. But you can see it's so it come up and it's come back a little bit on average. I'd say to what's that? 2,400 from 2 to 350. So the point being here is it'll take time. You can see the volume of that particular moment on the right hand side here, and you can see there's not a significant amount of volume, but because it's an expensive moment, so that's just quite normal. And that volume sort of from middle of February really picked up till the 23rd, and which coincides with the massive peak and then drop off. So that's something you guys can keep an eye on if you really wanted to get down to that level. Keep an eye on daily volume. You can see it's increasing, and then all of a sudden just takes a nosedive. Nothing in comparison. So like yesterday, 66 moment got traded, changed hands, 29 the day before that, 46 the day before that. So yeah, keep that in mind. This strategy that we're going to try replicate again will take probably 2 to 3 weeks to play out to see some significant gains, if we do see any, which I believe we will. But other than the sign-ups, there will be potentially marketing. I don't think there will be any marketing this quickly. I think there's just enough players there now to just to keep everyone busy, just to let the new people sign up essentially without any marketing or anything like that. So when you think about that, on top of that, new sign-ups, there'll be marketing. But most of the marketing we do now, you could say it's on Twitter. Like, we're engaging, or collectively we're all engaging other people, celebrities, whoever. Just keep grinding, keep at it. It's everyone's sort of responsibility now. That's what I've sort of taken upon myself as well, which is what I did with some of the NBA players. Just try to engage anyone I could to bring in that fan base, that legitimate volume, as I call it. So still no sale on that LeBron. Probably about 20 minutes in. It is, I think, what's the time in US now? Can't see my keyboard from the microphone. Yeah, so it's 7:50 a.m. So it's not the best time to be listing stuff if you want it to go quickly. But people are waking up, at least on the East Coast. So I don't think something like this. But you saw the volume too, 50, 60 a day. So it's not something that's moving. But that's still, what's that, $100 and something thousand in volume. So moving forward now, let's see where we are. So I'll go back so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you go to your login and then go to your profile, basically want to get the sets. That's what we want to get to, sets. So you think you can go through, collection and then by sets. So view your collection by sets and go to series 2, base set. So for me, I haven't, you can see that I've done 112 out of 186. Excuse me. Now I haven't got all the moments. So ideally, if I did have all the moments, you could easily tell who's missing. Who's new. But I've just had a sneaky peek before I started recording, and I believe it starts off here. I believe John Collins on my, So the way you know if it's a new player on the sets is if you just simply click on the grayed out players, which means you don't have them. So if you have them, they come up like this, and there'll be a number at the top right hand corner, how many of those you have. So let's look at someone that I know is in here. Sorry, it's available currently in packs. Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if you click on that, if you don't have it and he's available, it'll take you to the marketplace, which it just did now. So you could buy him for $214. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, so if he's not available, it'll look like this. Just a no moments found, sad face, crying. So from John Collins down is all new. So what's that give us? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 50. So 50 new moments, which is great because, that is going to give you plenty of base moments to entertain everyone with. And this is, what we need to be able to execute on this strategy. And that strategy being is basically out of this 50, pick your top 5 to 10 guys, whatever you want to, however diversified you want to be. And then basically buy up, have a price target in mind. Use the previous sales history from the other moments. So for me, let's just have a quick look at who I would personally be targeting. Obviously, Kevin Durant. So that's definitely my number one choice, or number 2. Because, so LeBron James is the other one. Going hard after him. Famous last words. So when I said I fucked up last time around, was still no LeBron sale. This thing's annoying. The little bell icon keeps coming up for no reason. So last time I stuffed up was I had that strategy, and you know how many I bought? Nothing really. I bought like maybe 4 or 5 of each, and subsequently I've sold like the LaMelos, cashed in on some of that. Because my price target on LaMelos was $2,000, and it basically got there. So I was like, okay, that was my price target for like 6 months from now, whatever it was. And I'm happy. But the problem was that I enjoyed posting on Twitter too much and doing other things. I just neglected the port, and I really have neglected my portfolio for a good part of now 3-4 weeks. So that's something I need to refocus on, because when you do the numbers, like I know when I set out to something, I would have probably bought 100 of those LeBron moments. And you look at what the price is now, $1,600 compared to what I was willing to pay, which is like $150, maybe $200 max at that point in time. Yeah, that's a lot of money to leave on the table, or dapper credits, whatever this thing is, internet magical money. So that's something I'm really gonna come out hard and be disciplined, because it's just, if you're gonna do all the work, you lack the execution. Well, you fail, like I did. So I still got maybe 3 to 5 of each of those, and they're worth quite a bit. But what could have been. I mean, John Wall, actually, I've got a lot more. It was so tedious buying all these. So John Wall was one of them, obviously, and I had 73 before I started buying them again tonight. Just mucking around. I had nothing to do. I'm quite proud of this collection because it's one of my best under 100 mints for any player. So paid quite a bit for some of these as well. Like number 10 I got for 1500. But you can see there 10, 13, 15, 17, 20 and so forth. So how many do I have? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. About 21, 22, something like that. And I think, what's it, 96 all up. So, yeah, I'm pretty high on him. So, like, when you look at, the reason I'm high, if you guys don't remember or you're new to this video, is because it's his first play. And that's very significant. Yes, it's season 2, but it's John Wall. We were talking on my Discord today about, there's a bit of risk injury there. Yes, there is. And if he was happen to be injured and he's done for his career, this will literally be one of the rarest moments in the game, because, not obviously season 1, because it'll be his first and his last as well. So that, in that case, if that's your concern, that actually would have a good impact on the price at the moment, because he won't be appearing anymore. Now, the opposite of that is if he plays to his potential, he dazzles the crowd, scores the 50-point games and gets in the playoffs. This thing should be worth. If you look at the other players that are in this set, like Luka is trading about $450, $500. That might be like his 8 millionth moment in the NBA TopShot. So how John Wall could be trading at $140 before I took him up a little bit, is beyond me, given the moment. And same as Gordon Hayward. Yeah, it's not in the same class as any of those guys, but he was about $70, $75. So, and he was a lot cheaper before that. So back down to here, we know what we're going to buy. I mean, for me personally, I'm going to target some of those liquid players, LeBron, KD. Who else we got in here? Who will be worthy of buying out? I mean, look, all these guys are worthy. Like, I'll be interested in Aaron Gordon, for example, but I want to pick him up for like $2, $3, $5. For obvious reasons. He's one of the investors. So, if he was to come around and you own 100 of his moments and you bought sorry about the chair, and you bought at an average of $5, that's $500 you're in for. But if he's to come around and engage and all that sort of stuff, like, which he probably should, because he owns part of the company, unless these guys are restricted. I've just found it funny that none of the investors from the NBA, like Aaron Gordon's one, Dinwiddie's the other. He caught a bit of heat for asking for presents, which I think is right, because again, we've done the players quite a lot of work to get that product with Dapper, obviously, the feedback we provided to get to the point where we are now. And we used to tweet out the Dinwiddie all the time, and again, he never responded once to anything. When he probably should have been, at least. Unless, again, maybe these guys are under some sort of restriction where they just can't do much. I know JaVale's done some official stuff, so has Aaron Gordon, but none of them have come, into the community and just mingled like some of the other NBA players. I just don't understand that. I really don't. But that's the reason why I'm buying him, because it's a potential there for it to go up when he does show his face. So that's the 3 or 4. I'm also targeting first plays, so I know definitely that Avery Bradley is a first play because he plays for the Heat, and that's his first season there. What else am I targeting? So there's Giannis is there. He's okay. I mean, he's obviously more than okay, but he's got a few moments. Remember in season 2, he's not a LeBron when it comes to this game, the Dapper game, the TopShot game. Anthony Edwards, someone I'll be very, very high on, very interested in. I'm not sure what the play is. I don't think it's that dunk. Was it against the Raptors where he killed literally a couple of defenders? I'll be very interested in that one. Not so much Devin Booker, Lillard. Again, I will be, but like next to nothing, couple of bucks. Sorry, the reason I probably should mention is I think some of these will be minted to 25,000, if not more. Now, I haven't actually checked the Blockchain Explorer. That should be up as well. So if you go to the new guys, TopShotExplorer.com, this is what you'll get. So how do you check on these moments? I don't know if we can check the mid size as well. Yes, we can. Beautiful. So you can see to the right hand side, the new number that we haven't seen before is 25,000. Okay, so it looks like 25 is the highest. And looks like there's a few missing as well. So what does that tell us? That we're coming. Okay. I'd say these are the new ones that'll be coming soon as well. So there's, I'm not going to take you through. There's some decent ones there. Okay. Yep, so we have confirmed that. You can see also some of you guys what tools we used. TopShotExplorer.com shows you that these guys will be minted to 25,000. So you can see now when you formulate your price targets, just use some of the previous ones, the history for the 7,500 mint, the 12,000 mint, and then what this one should be. So for someone like LeBron, if he's 12,000 mint, is it 12 or 15? And it's not really probably a fair comparison either, because I think that's his 3-point play. But let's just have a quick look. Base season 2. Okay. Yeah, it's the 15,000. So, and again, not a fair comparison, because I don't know what that new play is, but this 3-point no look thingy, it's iconic. So it's one of the better players in the entire NBA TopShot. So it's not fair to compare. So to say, well, if this one's trading at $1,600 and it's minted to $1,500, then you can literally take whatever it is, 30-40% off the other one that's going to be minted to 25,000, and just say your price should be, in some sort of comparison, what, $800, $900 to $1,000 roughly. You can't look at it that way because this is a special play. So if I was using this data set here alone, which is next to nothing, 2 moments, and other sort of intricate details within those as well, like the moment quality and all that sort of thing. So basically this is all gut instinct for me. So my price target on the LeBron will be, using these two, will probably, probably the low safe level will be like about $300, $300 to $400. So it might even open from the gates at $300. So there might not be much, but I can tell you now, if it opens at $300, you might have that period where for 2 weeks it won't do much, and as the more crowds build up, this becomes that entry point for a LeBron fan. Because you look at everything else is in the thousands of dollars. Now, if this new one can be affordable, because if you guys recall when these moments came out, this was trading at, comparison, next to nothing. What are these guys picking up for? Yeah, it's all $1,500. It's a good player. So look, that's what I'll be roughly targeting. If it does open up high, I'll evaluate it then. But just a guessing game really. I don't think it'll. That's a nice play. I don't think it's a strategy that you can lose out on. But you just want to watch your volume as well. So what I mean by that is, if you go to your marketplace and go to Space Season 2, buy. Well, this is what I do now. I feel comfortable doing this. So with some of these moments, take for example, it doesn't matter, any of these. Vucevic. So they are set to, is it low to high or? No, it's not. You can see he's got 1,288 moments listed. So if I was high on him, which I'm not at $44, I would be happily buying into this sort of liquidity or this sort of supply, because what that tells me is that you're probably going to get a more truer price when it's so much supply there, for obvious reasons, because people just keep undercutting themselves, compared to when there's 45 listings and everyone just sort of jacks up the price because one, they copy of each other and they go, oh, if he can get 15 grand, I'm sure I can get 15.5 for mine. So there's a bit of that going on when it's a really, really limited print run, like some of the earlier season 1 stuff that's printed to 1,000. But yeah, so for me, that's what I do. I look at the listings. I want to sort of see them at around the 1,000 mark, maybe just a little bit under at least, and then chomp into that supply over time, which is why it's important to have someone, to own someone like a LeBron or KD. They're not your Nikola Vucevic or Dwayne Bacon at $26. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuine super duper stars that you can move at a drop of a hat if you had to, and maybe put a little bit of discount in there. So just let the supply ride out. Okay, so we talked now about the players that we're targeting. Roughly it's going to take out a little bit of time to play out. Still no LeBron sale. Actually, what was that? That's all Gordon Hayward. It'll take a little bit of time to play out. You have to be patient. You really, this is not financial advice, just me sharing some opinions. But it's tough to lose out in this market if you just buy right. If you see the price spike up, well, you won't know if it's a spike up because you'll have no point of reference. But just use your gut instinct. Look at some of the previous sales from his other moments, and just go with that. Now, if you'd use that sort of strategy that we talk about, DCA or dollar cost averaging, if you've got a certain budget in mind and you think, oh shit, I don't know where this price is, in this cycle, is it $400 too much for it to open? Well, if you got, I don't know, $1,000 to invest or whatever it is, that might not work with that particular moment. Excuse me. So what dollar cost averaging is, basically you're buying a set amount each day or each month or whatever. So investing terms, some of my clients, they'll have an investment plan where they're putting $1,000 a month in this, managed fund or mutual fund, as you guys call it over in the States. No different to here. You have your budget and you go, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing, like most of us. I'm just going to put in, buy in a couple every day. And as you see, because you are in tune with that market, if you're buying a couple every day using that strategy, well, you can see it sort of going up, and then you might then feel comfortable going all in on that particular moment at that time. So that's sort of my little strategy. No different to season 2, the first iteration of it, first round. This is round 2, and I'm quite excited to have 50 moments there to play with as well. Going to pick out probably the 5 or 10 and really strongly focus on me personally on LeBron, Anthony Edwards, and a couple of those big superstars like KD, and just accumulate as much as I can. So that's that. I don't think there was anything more that I wanted to go through. Basically, just that strategy of what to do next. So we've now talked like probably once a week, really, on these or whatever you want to call it, episodes. Just a little strategy here and there, how to get that alpha. I don't think this is anything new. If you listened to a couple of shows beforehand, you would have realized it's the same thing, really. Just different day. Just thinking what else happened since last time. I did get the Trae Young Hollow reward, and I ended up getting very, very lucky. I got the last mint, so 58 out of 58. So pretty pumped about that, and you could see how that effort paid out, because the entire set cost about $22,000 for me to put together. It was in the 20s somewhere anyway. And now that moment alone, not even accounting for the last mint, has paid itself back, and you obviously still retain the other 9 moments unless you rented them out. So with the current challenge for Harden, I'm missing 3: Tobias Harris, Tyler Hero, and someone else. So they're fairly, I wouldn't say affordable, but at least I could, if I can't rent some of those out, I will just buy it out from the market, which is probably get about 20 grand worth. So I've been very fortunate, and I'll cover this off in the next video for the current Hollow Harden challenge. I rented most of those moments out, and my total in might be as little as, depending on what I do for the last 3, might be as little as maybe 20 grand again, which is just phenomenal, and it speaks volumes about hustling and just going out and trying to see if you can rent some of these things out. Obviously, you want to make sure it's with the right party, someone you can trust, because for you to hold 40 grand worth of their stuff and you give them back 20% of that, So, he's got a few. Troy Brown Jr., 1,500 listings. So guys, until next time, this is Wade's, one of your fellow NBA TopShot moderators, and the host of this lovely NBA podcast. I'm about to fall asleep. I'm full of drugs, not the good stuff either, just to help me get over the flu and whatever else I got. So I don't know how even this is going to sound like. Hopefully it sounds all right. I think there's a bit to that strategy. It's worked before. It'll work again. Might take 2 or 3 weeks to play out, guys, but just stick with it, and onwards and upwards. Trade well, friends. Talk to you soon.